You know, when you hear the term train spotting, you're probably thinking of something like this. Rather than thinking of something like this. FBI, open up! But it just so happened in 7th grade, me and my friends happened to turn it into this. What's up, guys? It's Sunny, and welcome to Sunny Side Up. And today we're going to be telling the story of how me and my friends turned train spotting, of all things, into 5 stars in GTA. Yeah, it sounds stupid. It sounds stupid, but just bear with me. Bear with me here. The train tracks were really close to my middle school, and my friend lived pretty close too, so we would normally walk to his house after school. And me being me would always want to go to the train tracks and look at the trains and just, do whatever. I would dig holes in the ballast and record as the train went over my phone and stuff. It was so fun. And one day we decided to bring a friend who had never been to the train tracks. And when he gets there, it's pretty chill, but eventually he turns into a kid. He starts touching everything. He's got his hands all over the switch, which is locked. It's not like he's gonna throw it or anything like that, but I'm still yo, don't just touch whatever you want to touch. You gotta be careful here. For those who don't really know, train tracks are private property. You're not really allowed to just walk on them and do whatever you want on them, but in the town that I used to live in, they were pretty lenient. As long as you weren't doing anything stupid or getting the cops called on you, they didn't really care if you were just watching the trains go by. That being said, my friend had other intentions. He just wanted to touch whatever he could. And me and my friends, we did a little bit more than just watch the train sometimes. Me and my friends aren't completely innocent in that regard either. There used to be auto racks that would be parked in a siding super close to the high school, and we would go and climb them and jump from truck to truck, on the consist, and it was just super unsafe, but in the moment I felt like it was the Matrix, and it's super cool looking back on it, but that was stupid. But we did it a lot. And I also used to graffiti. I never graffitied any property of the railroad. I would never graffiti a train car or anything like that. I would always graffiti under city bridges and stuff like that. So I had plenty of reasons to just want to go to the train tracks, but after that, my friends kind of did too. And we ended up leaving pretty shortly after. We go back to the other friend's house, who lives pretty close to the middle school, and we just hang out for the day. I think it's about midnight, the time where most people should be, in 7th grade going to sleep. You got school the next day. But we were not, and we wanted to go back to the train tracks, or I wanted to go back to the train tracks. I suggested, and we all load up. We pack some waters and stuff, and we make our way down there. At night it's a pretty calm environment. There's not just random people walking around. There's not too many trains. There's not a lot of traffic, so it's a pretty chill environment. We just wanted to go walk. I wasn't planning on doing anything stupid while it was happening. My friend, on the other hand, when we get there, he decides to take rocks. And he starts throwing them at the train cars that are parked in the siding. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Don't do that. Number one, not our property. Number two, there's houses. There were houses not very far from the train tracks that could probably hear the loud boom. You're throwing a big-ass rock at a big metal train car. It's not going to be quiet, dude. And he just kept doing it. And I'm kind of getting frustrated. Eventually, we hear a train. We hear a train horn, and in the distance, since it was dark, you could see the light kind of coming from around the corner. So I'm like, oh, okay, guys, get off the track. So we get off the track, and we're standing, towards the road, watching it go by. And I didn't realize that friend still had a rock in his hand. So the train passes. It's probably about halfway through the consist, and he chucks this rock as hard as he can. Now, the car that the rock actually hit was a tanker, and that freaked me out. I mean, of course, it just being a rock, it's not going to be enough to... But in my head, I was like, oh boy. And I was just super freaked out from that point on. The train eventually passed. And while my friends thought it was funny, I was like, that's not cool. Don't do that. Continued on down the line. And we probably make it about halfway. Imagine here's where we start. And here's where the train goes by. About half a mile, if that, maybe quarter mile down, there's another train bridge. And we were going to make our way to that, climb up, and head back to my friend's house. And while we're halfway there, suddenly a spotlight from the road, there's a train crossing over here, from the road just in our direction. And as we turn around, we see it's a police car. I can see the blue and red lights shining, and there's just the guy had a spotlight on the top of his car and was just shining it down at us. Truth be told, if me and my friends just walked up to the cop, explained what we were doing, said, hey, we're just watching the trains go, we're actually trying to make it back to my friend's house, it would have been fine. There would have been no trouble, nothing at all. I'm seeing this, and I turn around to my friends to be like, guys, see what their move is, and I turn around, and they're gone. They're running. They are bolting down the train tracks. And I'm like, shit. I'm not going to be the only one to go explain what the hell's going on. Fuck that. So I book it after him, and I catch up to him, and we're climbing up this bridge. Now, this cop probably knew exactly where we were going. The road literally led to the bridge, and we knew that. So we decided when we made it to the top of the bridge to cut through a field and make it to more towards the middle school. And we did. We make it to the middle school, but there's just cop sirens everywhere. There are sirens going off all over town. And normally that's like you can tell in a quiet little town when something's up. Something was up. It went from 1 cop to 5 to what sounded like everyone in the city was trying to converge on a single point. And it felt like that single point was us. So we were freaked out. At one point, there were even helicopters. I remember there being at least one. There was a helicopter like in the sky that was flying relatively low, like too low for them to just be chilling, you know, like something was up. So what we decided to do is Metal Gear Solid our way through the rest of this field past the middle school. And past the middle school is actually the college, the local college. It's a smaller college, you know, the campus is like 3 streets long. But we make it to it, and we're walking around, you know, playing it cool. You know, we finally make it into civilization. We're not close to that anymore. We're just walking around, you know, everything's all right. A cop car pulls up behind us, and of course everybody's freaked out. You know, we're covered in mud. We're also, you know, 7th graders out at like midnight. So the cop pulls up behind us, and he's like, "What are you boys up to?" And I think my friend explained that we were playing like football or something. We were playing some game at the other friend's house. And the cop goes, okay, how far away are you guys, you know, from your house? And he explains, because we were probably like 5 minutes at this point. We were basically home free. And he explained that, and he was like, "Okay, you boys need to hurry back." It turned out that the cops were looking for an escaped convict that had broken out of the local jail and apparently robbed and killed somebody. Yeah, and was fleeing, and they'd lost him, and probably mixed that dude up for the 7 kids, or just the group of kids on the train tracks. Holy shit. So we find that out, and we're like, yes sir, we're gonna get home. Like, yeah, we'll go. We're with you. Yes sir. And I remember the cop pulling away, and me and my friends just looking at each other like, are you fucking serious? Are you kidding me? And we just book it. Like, we're not even worried about the comment. We're just like happy that we're gonna be all right. You know, like we're not trying to get in trouble, you know? I'm not about to lose my iPhone 4 or Xbox 360 because we went to the train tracks and the cops got mad at us. Fuck that. And it ended up all right. You know, there was no trouble. Truth be told, like I said, if we just would have walked up to that cop and explained, yeah, we're just walking on the train tracks, everything's cool, it would have been fine. I have so many stories from me and my friends just being at the train tracks. This is just one, and honestly, it's kind of weak compared to the other ones that I have to tell. So if you guys enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know if you guys want to hear them down below. And if you're gonna go train spotting with somebody who likes throwing rocks at trains, at least wear athletic shoes.